All right. Let's see how much of this shit we can get through before I just can't stay awake any longer. Oh my god. All right. The generational cost of hate, the alt-right bullshit. The alt-right's successful political attack against progressive culture. Progressive culture. All right. By the time the sequel trilogy is about to come to a close in December 2019, the only retaliation against the organized racist and sexist pardon me, barrage against it, social comment there, against it, there's been a few tweets and a few articles crying out against hateful trolls and neckbeards. Oh, shut the fuck up. Most of this is left to reverberate within the echo chamber of Twitter, and any real action needed against the rising alt-right lie radicalization within Star Wars fandom is not even a thought. Maybe because, maybe because there's not that many crazy people who actually think that it's a problem. That'd be a welcome relief, wouldn't it? The victor of the war on culture being waged from the depths of designated hate groups, again, designated by the SPLC, and they're a left-wing propaganda outfit. They are essentially a hate group themselves. They designate everyone as a hate group. Everyone who disagrees with the leftist narrative. To top viewed YouTube videos is now left to be decided by Lucasfilm, Disney, and Bad Robot. This is a lot to ask of companies who likely have little understanding of what is happening within their own fan base and whose way of conducting business and creative decisions for decades has never had to consider things like coordinated aggression from white supremacists and anti-feminists. Anti-feminist, yes, and that's a good thing. White supremacists, no. That's a lie. You just keep lying about that. And so, the ending to this little-known battle of cultural progress versus deterioration was, in hindsight, inevitable. Well, no, the thing about this is that you're claiming that leftist bullshit ideology is progress, when in fact it is the deterioration. In the end, the alt-right lie attack on Star Wars was successful, carrying with it considerable damage for creatives involved and for the myth of an entire generation that became unknowingly squandered to hate. You're being a little over dramatic, aren't you? It's just a shitty trilogy of movies put out by a soulless corporation. But if you think that, if you think that the people you're calling the alt-right have won, I would think that they feel like they lost because what they actually wanted was better movies and they didn't get that. So I guess everybody lost. That sounds about right. The targeting of progressive and diverse creatives. Again, you're trying to use your fucking diversity points or whatever as a shield against criticism. That's the problem. It's like you have bad, you're bad at telling stories. You're bad at your jobs. You want a bunch of woke crap identity politics bullshit that most people don't agree with and they don't want. And you keep on talking about how they're attacking us because they hate diversity. No, it's just not true. You know, like you're receiving legitimate criticism and you're trying to use, whatever, your identity as a shield against it. Like, oh, you can't attack me because I'm a woman. You can't attack me because I'm a minority. Blah, 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 blah. Well, guess what? If you're doing a bad job, we can fucking sure criticize you for doing a bad job. And increasingly, your attacks against criticism. See, that's the thing. It's like we're not actually attacking you; we're criticizing you, and you see that and characterize that as an attack. Damn it. Like Brie Larson when she says, "Is that a personal attack or something?" Like, you feel like you're being attacked, so you say you're being attacked, and really you're just being criticized for doing a bad job. And you want to use, like I said, your identity, whatever that is, female, minority, whatever, uh, you know, uh, you know, uh, gay. Whatever identity you claim, you're trying to use that as a shield against legitimate criticism. But increasingly, people don't care about your cries of sexism or racism or whatever bigotry that you're trying to claim. We've been called those names so many times. We don't care anymore. We're still going to call you out for doing a bad job, for being bad at writing or whatever the fuck it is you're doing. If you're not doing a good job, if you're not creating good product that's worth buying, we're gonna fucking call you out for it. And all your whining about how we're istophobes and attacking you for hate. Oh, we're so hateful. It's like, no, we hate bad product. That's what this boils down to. And you probably know that. And probably you actually know that. But you know that you're no good at creating good product, so you're still trying to get away with being bad at your job by saying that the only people who don't like your product are people who are just hateful. But like I said, that is uh, that is just your tactics are working less and less, just less and less as time goes on. As Gamergate demonstrated, no caustic battle against culture is targeting simply the culture itself. There is always a human cost attached. Similar attacks experienced by Zoe Quinn, fuck her. Anita Sarkeesian, fuck her. And Brianna Wu, probably fuck her, but I don't remember for sure what the hell she did. But if this article is painting her as a good person, probably that means she's a terrible person. Happened to the creatives involved in the Star Wars sequel trilogy to various degrees, including a film director, fuck him, two authors, fuck them, a show host, fuck that person, probably, three actors, and an executive. Definitely fuck the executive. Not sure about the actors. I'm not sure which ones we're talking about. This list is not exhaustive. It feels like everything about this is exhaustive and exhausting. Any new creator or any woman in particular, yes, we know, in a creative role that is hired by Lucasfilm who is likely to create content alt-right lie groups see as antithetical to traditional white Christian culture will become a target. Well, have you ever considered creating something that isn't antithetical to Christian culture? Not necessarily white Christian culture. I mean, you do realize that there are black Christians in this country. There are actually, you know, brown Christians, Asian. I mean, there are Christians of all kinds. But that is kind of a point to be made here. Hollywood is very anti-Christian. Entertainment in general seems to definitely be anti-Christian. If not explicitly so, then they try to minimize the existence or impact on culture of Christianity. Yeah, it's worth asking why. The answer, I should think, is fairly obvious. But anyway, few of these attacks we have already discussed, including the racist attack against Boyega. Like I said, I didn't, I wasn't around for that one, but later on, at least as far as I'm aware, most people, liked John Boyega and his character at least more than the others. The attacks on Kathleen Kennedy, which have also included death threats by alt-right lie YouTubers. And here we go. I guess this picture is meant to be, their so-called proof of a death threat. See, this is the thing. They take everything out of context and they blow it out of proportion and they act like, I've received death threats. No, you haven't. It's like either you haven't received them at all, it's just a fucking joke, a troll, or whatever, or if you did, it was somebody who is definitely full of hot air and they're never going to do it. Like, they might have been serious in their sentiment, but they're not ever going to track you down and kill you. But most of it is probably just like this. This Comic Artist Pro Secrets, Ethan Van Sciver, on his second Parler account named after his comic book Cyberfrog Blood Honey. It appears to just be named after Cyberfrog, and Blood Honey is the first one. Laughs at a death threat he made towards Kathleen Kennedy. It's not a death threat, you fuckwads. It's a joke. Ha ha ha. It's a quote directly from Star Wars. Violating our rules against abuse and harassment, blah, 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 blah. Cyberfrog. At Disney, at Lucasfilm Limited, let Kathleen Kennedy die. Kill it if you have to. It's funny, and it is a quote. I mean, it substitutes Kathleen Kennedy for the past, but that is a quote from The Last Jedi, where Kylo Ren says, let the past die. Kill it if you have to. It's a joke, goddammit. Are you really so fucking dense that you don't get that? It's not a legitimate death threat. Fuck you, you stupid sons of bitches. In 2016, actress Daisy Ridley, who played Rey in the Star Wars sequel trilogy, deleted her Instagram after receiving harassment for publishing a post against gun violence. Ridley has continuously stated she has no plans to return to social media. Well, that's entirely up to her. I don't care whether she's on social media or not. That's her choice. And as far as receiving harassment, I'm guessing basically your post against gun violence is probably in favor of gun control. People, including people who are potential victims of gun violence, want to be able to shoot back, honey. We want to be able to exercise our constitutionally guaranteed, but not granted, it is a right granted by Almighty God, to defend ourselves. And yes, a lot of you pampered celebrity pieces of shit think that us common folk shouldn't be allowed to do that. You, who can afford to have armed security to protect your ass, you want us to just fend people off with a baseball bat, I guess. Well, fuck you. We will defend ourselves with firearms. Whether you like it or not. Director Rian Johnson commented that he has received multiple threats against his life on Twitter, Well, when you're such a piece of shit and you attack the fans, don't be surprised when at least a few of them decide to attack you in return. Johnson, like Kennedy, is a popular target for alt-right. Again, that's a lie. It's not alt-right. None of these people that you talk about are alt-right. None of them. YouTubers. Of all videos mentioning Rian Johnson on YouTube that have received greater than 100,000 views, 45% of them are from alt-right accounts. No, that is a lie. That is a goddamn lie, and I'm getting tired of you repeating your fucking lie about alt-right. You either don't know what that means, or else you do, and you're just fucking lying about it. It is horseshit. None of these... The only person in this entire goddamn article that you have mentioned that's actually identifies as alt-right is Richard Spencer. And you not talking about him outside of your little list way the fuck up towards the beginning of the article. You mention him there, and then you don't fucking mention him again. And yet you call all of these other people, half of whom are leftists, you are calling them alt-right. You're a lying piece of shit. Oh my God. Additionally, 60% of the top 10 YouTubers by number of videos mentioning Rian Johnson are... No, they're not alt-right accounts. Stop with the fucking bullshit lies. Jesus. God damn you. God damn you and your fucking lying tongue. Or fingers, I suppose, in this case. Count of YouTube videos mentioning Rian Johnson greater than one of the, other, 52%. Official account, 3%. And what you're terming falsely alt-right account, 45%. In reality, of course, none of them are alt-right. None of them. Not a single fucking one. I'm not aware of anyone on YouTube, actually, who claims to, unless Richard Spencer himself is on there, who claims to be alt-right. I would assume that YouTube's probably deleted the accounts of anyone who did claim to be alt-right. Top 10 YouTubers mentioning Rian Johnson by number of videos. See, here we go again with, Star Wars Only is other, Collider Extras other, Star Wars Theory other. I wonder if they're going to change that now that Star Wars Theory has been on... he's been on with Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, D-Day Cobra, on Drunk 3PO's channel. And I think they mentioned Drunk 3PO as being alt-right, which he's not. Or maybe they mentioned him as other. I'm not sure. But I wonder if they're going... But because Star Wars Theory has now been associated with Geeks and Gamers, with Jeremy, at least, although not on Jeremy's channel, I wonder if they're going to now try to classify him as alt-right as well. Fucking ridiculous. Thor Skywalker, I'd be willing to bet any amount of money you want he's not alt-right, although I don't fucking know because I don't watch him. Same thing with SC Reviews and 3 Buck Theater. MecRandom42, you have classified her as alt-right. She is a leftist. She's a fucking leftist. This is the ridiculous bullshit that we're dealing with. And let me look at the fucking people that are on the list here. On this fucking list. Look at who they're actually called. It's like, okay, like I said, the 3 Buck Theater, SC Reviews, Thor Skywalker. I don't watch these channels. I don't know. I don't really know. They got Star Wars Only, which I'm not familiar with. Collider, I've heard of. I don't care for them. The Collider Extras is other. Star Wars Theory, like I said, he's been talking friendly, with Geeks and Gamers owner Jeremy now recently. As other. Mike Zero is other, of course. Mike Zero, he's a unique kind of awesome. Subscribe to Mike Zero. Anyway, but look at the other people, like the people that I actually know for sure about. The 3 channels I know for sure about that I have watched. 2 of them I don't watch so much anymore. One of them I still do. That you're claiming are alt-right. You're claiming MecRandom42 is alt-right. She is a leftist. She is a left of center person. She is not right-wing at all. Geeks and gamers, you're claiming them as alt-right. None of them are alt-right. A few of them, including the guy that owns it, Jeremy, are right-leaning, but kind of modestly so, most of them. And a bunch of them are kind of non-political centrist, and quite a few of them are left-leaning. One or two heavily so. So they're a mixed bag for sure. Definitely not alt-right. And then, for fuck's sake, Clownfish TV, again, they're left of center. The people that run that, the couple that runs that, are leftists. They're left of center. And you're claiming they're alt-right. You're full of shit. These rewriting Ripley people are full of fucking shit. Other targets on YouTube have included Justina Ireland. Yeah, I think I've seen videos talking about them or whatever, but I don't really remember these women or what they're what they've been accused of by people that have made videos against them. They're probably they're probably guilty, though, of whatever it was they were being accused of, because, of course, they're probably being accused of something that's, not terribly awful, but is still definitely something, worth calling them out for. Author of Star Wars: The High Republic, A Test of Courage. The High Republic, the entire project is just utter horseshit, as near as I can tell. And Christina Ariel, host of Star Wars: The High Republic show. Oh yeah, I think wasn't she like expressing anti-white racism? Probably. It seems like I heard that. For tweets expressing their experiences as black women in America. Well, if their experience was was to say bad things about white people, because they're, well, yeah. Then yeah, they deserve to be called out for that. The tweets, which are critical towards white people, hey, I didn't even read ahead. I was just going from memory about hearing about them, and could kind of guess also where this was going, even if I didn't remember. Have been used to harass these women for being anti-white. Well, if you're anti-white, you deserve to be called out for being anti-white. Yeah, I find it funny that it's always rules for thee and not for me. With the fucking leftists, it's always, oh well, you can be called out for being a racist if you ever say anything that could be twisted to mean that you don't like black people or whatever. But if you try to call out anybody for being anti-white when they're often very obviously so, you're harassing people. You're being awful. Let's see. One particularly vitriolic video from alt-right lie YouTuber RK Outpost screams at the High Republic host for being a fucking racist against white men. Good for you, Ryan. Good for you. Subscribe to RK Outpost. Ariel posted a small sample of the racist hostility that was sent to her following the videos from alt-right lie YouTubers. Watching two white men discuss racism they will never experience. Don't be so sure, bitch. Will never sit right with me. Oh, debates 2020. Oh, she's talking about the... Well, okay, yeah, them, yeah, they probably won't, but I thought she was talking about, people like Ryan Kendall. I was like, oh. I was like, I'm sure that ordinary white folks are experiencing racism. White men, this is not the subject for you to try and speak authoritatively in my comments. I said what I said. Bitch, white men, like everybody else, are free to speak as they wish. If you want to, if you want to enjoy your freedom of speech, I suggest that you accept that other people will enjoy their freedom of speech as well. And don't try to act like you deserve to speak, but everybody else should be silent. Fuck you. Christina Ireland, read more, tweet less. Yeah, why aren't you following your own advice? Twitter challenge writers. Pitch your book with brutal honesty. There are black people. There are black people. That sounds like great characterization. They don't die. They don't. Okay. So? Is that. Or exist just to help white people? Okay. I mean, is there going to be more to it than that? Or are you just sticking with a very bare bones plot? You know, I've got numerous other I've got numerous writing projects that I want to eventually tackle, um, and there will be black people. There will be black people. Now, some of well, hmm, do any of them die? I'm not sure if any of them die. One of them is already dead because he's a vampire. But anyway, uh, uh, they may or may not die. I don't remember for sure what all I've got mapped out for them yet. Um, or I'm sure probably there'll be some accusation that they exist just to help white people. Like my black vampire dude. It's like he's going to be working with a white sorcerer. So yeah, probably be accused of they exist just to help. Uh, oh, oh God. It's just so stupid. All you know, the bottom line. Here's the secret about all of the supposedly hateful right wing people and whatnot. All of the supposedly awful people that the left just despises. The real secret is all we want is to be left the fuck alone. If you bastards would leave us alone, we would return the favor. But you won't. You're the ones obsessed with controlling us. And we won't be controlled. So, we are at hazard. Ariel, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly or not, was also targeted by Pasobik, who, if you remember, pushed hate against Boyega in 2015. Did he really? I mean, I don't remember for sure, but did he really? Jack Pasobik, he's not really a particularly hateful person as far as I'm aware. Before he was a known figure in the alt-right. Well, he's not a known figure in the alt-right. He never has been. He's not alt-right like everybody else that you keep. Like I said, I mean, you. And that's the odd thing. It's like the only person in this entire article, as far as I'm aware, as I've said many times before, who's actually alt-right, who identifies as alt-right. I think Milo did briefly, like he briefly called himself the alt-right, but he stopped doing that. But the only person who has continually identified as alt-right is Richard Spencer. And I don't think you even called him alt-right. You called him a neo-Nazi, which I'm not 100% sure is correct, although he is a white identitarian and he is a socialist, so you got that part right. Uh, which of course makes him a leftist. But anyway, but like I said, he calls himself alt-right. He's the only person in this article who calls himself alt-right, and or at least as far as I know, is still calling themselves alt-right. And you don't call him that. You identify him as a neo-Nazi. Which is kind of correct at least. I'm not sure if it's 100% correct, but it is somewhat correct at least. He is a leftist. He is a socialist, and he is a white identitarian. But like he's the only one who would really fit into the alt-right category, and instead you're calling a whole lot of people that are, slightly right of center, centrist, or indeed left of center, alt right. It's just such absolute horseshit. Star Wars and Lucasfilm officially support calling all white people racist. And her declaration that all white people are, I'm assuming that continues as racist. Okay, so yeah, I believe that is what I had heard. That yes, this bitch that they've hired or whatever, as she is herself racist. She is a racist bitch. A lot, and then the left tries to do things like twist the definition and be like, oh well, racism only refers to people with institutional power, blah blah blah. You only try to change the language, change the definition of words, so that you can have words that actually do mean, they refer to everybody. Like racism refers to anybody who's bigoted based on ethnicity or whatever. It's like that's always been the case, but now they want to redefine that to be something to do with institutionalized power, blah blah blah, just so that they can say that, well, all white people are racist, but no black people can be racist. It's like only white people can be racist. It's a lie. It's a fucking lie, and we're sick of it. We're fucking sick of it. But by all means, keep pushing, leftists. Keep pushing and see where they get you. It ain't gonna get you where you think it's gonna get you. I guarantee you that. Posobiec has pushed other harassment campaigns from. No, not alt-right. They're not alt-right. You're lying about that. Please, for the love of God. I don't want to do it right now, but I need to, somebody should get a word count on this fucking thing and find out how many goddamn times they repeat alt-right, 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 alt-right. It's got to be hundreds of times in this fucking article. And it's always, it's always a lie. It's always misused. From not alt-right YouTubers. And I'm just going to start saying that. I'm going to start saying not alt-right because none of them are. None of them that they've called alt-right are alt-right. Half of them, the ones they're calling alt-right, are not even right-wing at all. None of them are alt-right, and half of them are left-wing. Most notably, the firing of Chuck Wendig. Fuck him. He's a piece of shit. An author who was a writer for Marvel Comics at the time of the incident. In 2018, Wendig posted a viral tweet thread that criticized calls for civility when dealing with right-wing extremism that landed him in a video by comic artist Pro Secret's Ethan Van Sciver. Wendig was then harassed on his Twitter account by Sciver's followers. Wendig, it's really not appropriate, I don't think, to say Sciver's followers. You can say Ethan's followers or Van Sciver's followers, but even though it's two words, Van Sciver, that the whole thing is his name, so you really should use both parts, Van Sciver. Wendig was abruptly fired from Marvel following the harassment. Good. Posobiec approved of the firing in a now deleted Periscope. Great. Why Star Wars had to fire Chuck Wendig. Well, I'm sorry I missed that. The harassment was part of, Chuck Wendig, I'm pretty sure, isn't he the guy that wrote a fucking email to Ethan regarding fans that were criticizing him or whatever, or wasn't that him, or was it somebody else? I think it was him, wasn't it? Or maybe it was somebody else. I can't remember. Somebody, though, wrote to Ethan and said, of the fans, said, fuck these people with a rusty chainsaw. It's like, good God. That's a way to really, really, make people, well disposed towards you. The harassment with ongoing Comicsgate harassment campaigns against progressive writers. Kind of bullshit. And a larger directive by the not alt-right to attack liberal and progressive creators. Again, larger direct. It's you try to pretend like there's an organization where there isn't. There's just a bunch of different people doing their own thing, and sometimes they get together and do the same thing, but not. It's not really organized. It's just sort of a, they so Well, I mean, it's just like, you know, uh, Jeremy and Geeks and Gamers being attacked by Naughty Dog because Naughty Dog was busy trying to delete everybody that was daring to criticize their woke garbage ass sequel to The Last of Us, and Jeremy was pointing out to Ethan, when they streamed together recently, following the recent business with Zack Snyder, kind of insinuating that Geeks and Gamers were a hate group. Interesting timing on all of this kind of going down at the same time, isn't it? This article and that thing and some other shit. Anyway, which I believe that somebody, or several somebodies perhaps, has looked into this article and determined that the people writing this article may have been sponsored essentially by Disney or somebody to construct a hit piece, which doesn't surprise me in the slightest. Anyway, but it's talking about, like, oh, Ethan didn't say anything about that because, and Ethan was like, I didn't know. It's like, well, it's because they don't always, that, it's like there's not a back channel that all these supposed alt-right people, keep everyone abreast of everything that's going on and how they need to coordinate their efforts to do this, that, and the other. That doesn't happen. Some of these people are friends, and they sometimes talk about things, and sometimes they don't. And, a lot of times, people like Ethan or whoever will point out to their fans what's going on, and then their fans may very well, in various different groups, a network of friends among the fans may decide to take action. But it's not directed. It's not like Ethan is saying, "Oh, I want you to go and harass so and so that works at Lucasfilm." That doesn't happen. He just says so and so at Lucasfilm is a piece of shit, and then randomly some of his fans are like, "Yeah, you know what? They are. Let's go. Let's go harass them." Yeah. Um, and you should, and no one should be held accountable for the actions of other people. It's like everyone is accountable for their own actions, not the actions of others. Anyway, the latter was also pushed by Pasobik, who was instrumental in the firing of Guardians of the Galaxy director James Gunn. James Gunn deserved to be fired. He should not have been rehired. A lot of people try to talk about how, he's he was fired for for old tweets, and they were just jokes. They weren't jokes. They were statements. Jokes have punchlines, people. James Gunn just made really creepy statements. Not jokes. Um, I don't know if we can we zoom in on the, yeah, well, I don't know. It shows that we can zoom in. Let's hang on. Dash Rendar Mana Thought Patrol. What the fuck? That's a weird ass name. Chuck Wendig, Move the Needle is working as intended. Good riddance. Thankful for Comicsgate and Ethan Van Sciver diversity in comics. I guess that was your boy Zach before he left Twitter. Less mentally unstable people in the industry with Chuck's eviction. Yeah, and I totally support that. I mean, look, I would be against cancel culture, period, except the left is never going to be against canceling people. So I think that the right should take as many scalps as they can. Might as well fight fire with fire because these fuckers will never stop. Uh, well, it it enlarged slightly. Yeah, embiggen. That's a word now. It's not actually, but they put it in the fucking dictionary. It's garbage. James Gunn, RT at, I can't tell who that's supposed to be. I like it when little boys touch me in my silly place. Shh. See, that's not that's. I mean, is there a is there a punchline there? I'm not seeing one. It's just a statement, a very creepy statement. Photo shoot with somebody, and somebody trying to maintain a semi chub so that I'll look impressive in these photos. That's closer to a joke, but it still just comes off as really creepy. The Hardy Boys and the mystery of what it feels like when Uncle Bernie fists me. Hashtag sad children's books. That's really gross. The Expendables was so manly, I fucked the shit out of the little pussy boy next to me. The boys are back in town. Do I really have to even pass comment on that? I mean, it speaks for itself, doesn't it? My new film, I'm assuming I can't. Jerk Loose. A small town where beating off is illegal. And one high school kid jerks off in front of the others to show how fun it is. Again, very gross, and isn't it interesting how all of these tweets seem to involve people who are, if not underage, then at least potentially underage. This may be the plant version of adopting a damaged 12-year-old girl who steals your money and accuses you of molesting her. Is that a fear of his or a fantasy of his? This hotel shower is the weakest ever. Felt like a 3-year-old was peeing on my head. One hopes he does not speak from personal experience. Eagle snatches kid is what I call it when I get lucky. God, I can't. Next one is too fucking small. I can't read it. I just downloaded that new Steven Tyler single. I feel the hype of something, usually something for getting a... God damn it, I can't read that. It's just too small. Trying to figure out the most disgusting feature of Vegas, and I can't make it out. It's just too fucking small. It's too I wish they'd included a bigger image, but I probably didn't want to. I'm surprised they included one that was big enough to read it all, because they probably don't want you actually reading what he said. 3 men and a baby they had sex with. Hashtag unromantic movies. Honesty is the best policy. Tell your 3-year-old you're laughing, thinking of me fucking 3PO. He'll appreciate it when older. What in the fuck are you talking about? I'm doing a big Hollywood film adaptation of The Giving Tree with a happy ending. The tree grows back and gives the kid a blowjob. About to vom. Yeah, me too. About to vomit as I'm stuffed with etouffee and eggplant. I'm Louis Andersoning my ass out. Just the fat, not the little boys. Mary Matthews just told me a story about how a monkey jerked off to completion on a kid on the set of Max Keeble's Big Move. I remember my first NAMBLA meeting. I mentioned previously what NAMBLA is. It was the first time I felt okay being who I am. Some of those guys are still my BFFs. And as we know from Doug TeNapel, BFF means butt butt fucker forever. uh, the most well-known harassment campaign led by not alt-right Star Wars YouTubers was the harassment of Kelly Marie Tran. That's a lie. Kelly Marie Tran was not harassed. That's bullshit. That was a bullshit story. Tran has been target of racist harassment in disturbing ways that spread across Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and even her character's fan wiki. I'm assuming that's probably trolls and was not your so-called alt-right Star Wars YouTubers. Because most of them like Kelly Marie Tran. Just the lying, it never stops. On Instagram, Tran's posts were riddled with harassment, telling the actress to shut the fuck up and that she did a terrible job in The Last Jedi. Well, I wouldn't blame her for that, by the way. You know, Rian Johnson, sure. Her, no. Is it creepy to hug a display case containing your friend's clothes? Asking for someone who does not understand social protocol in this situation. I fail to see why. Yeah, I fail to see why the fuck you'd be asking such a weird question, and I fail to see why anyone would find it. I mean, a display case. Just continue. No, I mean, there's nothing creepy about it. It's just odd. Whoever the fuck this is, shut the fuck up like you can do any better. Okay, is it just me, or does that seem like a non sequitur, considering what it seems to be in a reply to? And then whoever this is, oh, wait a minute, is this okay? Is this person replying to that person? Don't know what that person's not listed here, so we don't know what the fuck they said. Okay. Why is that included? What? Do a better editing job, you idiots. You did a terrible job in Star Wars. Your presence ruined the entire movie, and that's not because you're an Asian actress, just bad. That should be apostrophe R-E. And you should have a comma there. But no, I mean, she did the job that she was told to do. You know, I mean, whoever the fuck you are, you can't blame her for what went down there. Blame Rian Johnson. It's his fault. It's the fault of the writers, whoever. It is not her fault. Josh Gray, your character. Well, you got that right, except you didn't put an apostrophe there. Character is just the worst. Um, Again, there's no reason to say that to her, but yeah, the character she's playing really kind of sucked. But that's not really her fault. She doesn't get to decide that. Uh, uh, at and we don't, this is another comment that's not there, so we don't know what they said. Dick. Okay. So it looks. I'm assuming that she had, defenders here. Like, I guess this person attacked her, and this person is defending her from them, and then that person attacked her, and this person is defending her by calling him a dick. Um, why did you kiss Finn without consent? That is sexual harassment. Now that's actually funny. That's actually funny because the left is always going on about bullshit like that. And yes, she did kiss him without asking for consent first. Not that there's any reason to do that. Normally it's like it's just you feel that it's right in the moment. Sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong on that one. But it's supposed to be spontaneous. So but that is essentially a criticism of woke culture and all the bullshit that the left is pushing, and that is funny. That doesn't make any sense, and that's another one directed at somebody whose comment we can't see. An example of hateful comments. Okay, so the hateful comments are this person, that person, and that person. This one's just funny. It's not hateful. That one, and that one is true, but there's no reason to be directing it at her. This one is the only one that might be considered kind of hateful because they're claiming she did a terrible job, but she did the job that she was, employed to do. So it's misdirected. On Twitter, alt-right personality Paul Ray Ramsey Paul, posted a tweet making fun of Kelly's body weight. Ramsey Paul's a dipshit. I don't care for him. Battlestar Galactica Asian versus Last Jedi Asian. Obviously, the First Order failed to cut off the Resistance food supply line of food. That's kind of mean, but it's also kind of funny. I have to admit. I'm pretty sure he's not alt-right either, by the way. I will say this. Kelly Marie, I don't know whether Kelly Marie Tran lost a lot of weight, and, I don't know whether, as Milo would no doubt say, fat shaming works and that caused her to lose weight, or if it was just something she did anyway, or if she wasn't even as fat as she looks like she is. I mean, she doesn't look like fat, but she does look a little bit chubby, which is exacerbated to a certain extent by the fact that in general Asians tend to not be as overweight as Americans are on average. They tend to be thinner. So anyway, but the way she looks in The Last Jedi, she doesn't look particularly good. I mean, part of it's the weight, part of it's the hair, part of it's the clothing. But then you see her at, was it the premiere of the film, or was it the premiere of the next film? I can't remember, one or the other. And you saw her, on the red carpet or whatever, in a dress, and it's like, God damn, she's gorgeous. It's like she doesn't look anything like she did in the movie. What the fuck? It's like why wasn't she? Why it's like they tried on purpose to make her look frumpy. It's like I don't know. Lucina, I forget who that is offhand, observed that people use different language to talk about Star Wars and to talk about Rose Tico / Kelly Marie Tran. About 6% of of Star Wars slash The Last Jedi posts use offensive language. The rate of offensive language in posts about Rose Tico slash Kelly Marie Tran is double that, 12%. Hate speech was about 60% more common in tweets about her compared to other Star Wars topics, 1.8 versus 1.1. Um, all I can say about that uh, is uh, the left always wants to pretend like hate speech is not free speech. They always try to act like like there's difference, and like free speech can't be hateful. Like hate speech is not protected. Um, that is exactly opposite of reality. Of course, hate speech is specifically the protected type of speech, because speech that isn't hateful, speech that everyone agrees with and no one has a problem with, doesn't need to be protected. It's your right to say horrible things that must be protected, because that's what people will try to silence. So hate speech is free speech, like it or not. Now, if you want to do away with free speech, okay, but keep in mind, uh, that's the sort of thing that you get, with places like Saudi Arabia. Do you really want to live there? I don't think so. But hey, if you want us to turn into the Western version of Saudi Arabia, that could happen. Probably not. Hopefully not. But it could. The left will not enjoy living in a place like that, or dying in a place like that. Just to be quite clear, a lot of leftists would be executed in Saudi Arabia for things that they do all the time in America without any fear of reprisal. In one instance, Rose Tico's Wikipedia page was edited to read, Ching Chong Wing Tong is a dumbass fucking character Disney made, and is a stupid, autistic, and R dash 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 racist? Or is that the new R word, the tard that we can't say anymore for some reason? Love interest for Finn. Um, there's two things that I wonder about that. One, I wonder if it was something that JJ or somebody gave any attention to in the first film, that they were kind of sort of planning maybe on having Finn and Rey be an item, you know, and that just didn't happen, or if part of the reason why her role was cut back so much and the sort of love interest thing really didn't develop in the second, not the second film, but the third film, the second one in which she was in it, um, because she's Asian and Asians don't like the blacks. Probably wouldn't go over very well in places like China to have an Asian girl getting it on with a black dude. I don't know. Interesting question, though. She better die in a coma because she is a dumbass bitch. How is it that the tard word is worse than dumbass or bitch? And how is it any really different from like autistic? Yeah. The language police business, it's stupid. It's just ridiculous. Ching Chong Wing Tong. Ching Chong China. Um, uh, she's Korean, isn't she? She's not. I don't think she's not Chinese, right? I don't know. I mean, whether it came from a place of hate or not, it's kind of funny to see, wiki vandalism. I mean, it's always easily fixed, but anyway. YouTube, however, carried the worst of the harassment. Well, of course, you're trying to get across the idea that YouTube needs to censor its users, which hopefully it won't listen to you on that. It's already censoring its users somewhat, but at least it's less than the other mainstream platforms. Searching Rose Tico on YouTube will instantly bring you to negative and hateful videos towards the character. Well, now look, there's a difference between hating the character and hating the actress. Nobody should hate the actress. She's a wonderful person. Hating the character, on the other hand, is totally legitimate. As long as you're not blaming the actress for the character, because she's just hired to play the character as she is told. It's not her choice on how to do it. Almost 60% of videos mentioning Rose Tico with greater than 100,000 views are from not alt-right channels. We've already determined that you don't know what that even means. Or if you do, you're lying about it. Almost half of the top YouTubers by number of videos mentioning Rose Tico are not alt-right channels. Skyver, again, Van Skyver. Pardon me. It's not appropriate to say Skyver. You should say Van Skyver. Published 18 videos alone on Rose Tico. Yes, he was really big into Rose Tico. It was his thing. Official account: Star Wars: The Last Jedi becoming Rose. At least it didn't say becoming Rosebud. That doesn't seem to be English. Not alt-right. It doesn't say what channels you're coming from, does it? Pardon me. These are just the rewriting Rose. Well, there you go. Rewriting Ripley, meet rewriting Rose. Why Rose doesn't work is an idiot. Reddit destroys Rose Tico on the anniversary of The Last Jedi. Oh, sounds cool. One of the worst characters in Star Wars, unfortunately, but yeah. So spins failure. Yeah, missing Rose Tico triggers access media. Yeah. I think I remember that. Oh, that's good. Rose save Finn. The worst scene in the history of film. Yeah, that's really bad. That was really stupid. Bad writing. Terrible writing. Rose Star Wars merch. Yep, I think I remember people talking about that. Spike 300%. So, wow, 76 seconds of screen time. Is that all she got in the third film? I guess so. All of this could have been avoided if you'd hired different people, or if George Lucas had never fucking sold it to Disney, or whatever. That's the saddest thing. All the missed opportunities for great and thoroughly non-divisive, Star Wars stories that could have been told. There's so much shit that could have been done that would not have upset anybody, really. It would have been awesome. And again, if well written, they really the left really wants to push the narrative that, people are so hateful, they're so racist, sexist, homophobic, blah, blah, blah. You know what? Well written characters is all you need. You can have all the women, all the minorities, all the whatever sexualities you want. Nobody cares if they're well written and the whole thing is just executed brilliantly. They'll buy it. They'll love it. If you just did it well. But instead, you want to be like, oh, we don't have to do it well as long as it's woke. If it's woke, it can be shit. And we can use the wokeness as a defense against it being shit. Top 10 YouTubers. Oh, shit. Oh, God, are we not? We're not. Oh, we're so far from being done yet. God damn it. Top 10 YouTubers mentioning Rose Tico by number of videos. Not alt-right. God. Spaceman Reviews. Don't know him. Black and White News. I'm not familiar with that. Ike Reviews. Not familiar. Foma Born. Not familiar. Charlie Barkin. Not familiar. Geeks and Gamers. We've already been over that many times. They're not all right. Cubs fan Han, not familiar. Volleyball gamer, not familiar. Clownfish, they're leftists. We've already covered that. Whatever the hell that is, not familiar. Mecca, already covered that. She's a leftist. They're sort of centrist, largely, I think. I don't know. I don't pay enough attention to world class bullshitters to know for sure, how much they're, right or left leaning. I'm pretty sure they're like right leaning on some things and left leaning on others. But this is the weirdest thing. It's like I said, geeks and gamers. You keep saying alt right for them, but Geeks and Gamers is a company, and it's run by, yes, someone who is right. None of them are alt-right, but it's run by a right-wing guy who employs several right-wing people, lots of centrist or non-political people, and quite a few left-wing people. And then you keep saying Clownfish TV is alt-right, and they are decidedly leftist. And you keep saying Mecharanum42 is alt-right, and she is decidedly leftist. GOM film, I'm not familiar with them. Now, again, Comic Artist Pro Secrets, Ethan Van Sciver, he is right, all of center, but he is not alt-right. I mean, just the, I mean, how insane do you have to be to call a definite leftist and a pair of definite leftists not just right, but alt-right? Associating them with white supremacy and all this other shit. It's like, none of these people are white supremacists. Not a single goddamn one of them. And people you keep associating with the alt-right are not even on the right at all. They're leftists. But keep on doing it. Keep on doing it, because the more you do it, maybe people, if not these particular people, maybe some of the people that view them, that consider themselves leftists, will start to recognize that the left has gone fucking insane, and they will move to the right. Maybe they will make the same move that I did. Recognize that the left has lost its fucking marbles. Watching videos about Rose Tico from not alt-right / the Fandom Menace channels is unsettling, to put it mildly. I don't think so. You'll often stumble upon people wishing death towards the character. Maybe. I think most of them are just kind of joking about it, but anyway. YouTuber Mauler, again, he's not any kind of... I don't think he's right-wing at all, actually. I'm pretty sure he's a leftist. Not extreme left, but I think he is left of center. In his review of The Last Jedi, refers to Rose as Shrek, and practically growls, Shrek didn't even have the decency to fucking die. Yeah, he does that for comedic effect, and it's very effective. I actually do, now that you mention it, I do remember that, and it it's it was hilarious. I need to watch that again. It's just it's such a long video though. I mean, I've got so much other shit to do. Um, but yes, I mean, it's like he's hilarious, and he had the decency to fucking die. Great stuff. But that's not a serious. You know, it's not. Mahler's thing is that he analyzes films for objectively as to whether or not they're good, and he's absolutely right to criticize the fuck out of all of them, but especially The Last Jedi. One video entitled who's that? Janobot? I'm not familiar with that channel. Damn it. An ingrown hair on my elbow. Let's see. Where the one video entitled "Star Wars Sequels, but Rose Always Dies" is 1 minute and 40 seconds of scenes from The Last Jedi, edited to imply that Rose dies in each scene. That's probably worth a watch. That's probably funny. I should probably look that up. I mean, that's a nice short one, I mean, you ever notice that? I mean, look at that. It says 1 minute and 40 seconds, and it probably says that somewhere. Right there. Pardon me. It says 1 minute 39. There seems to almost always be like a 1 second discrepancy. Like at one place YouTube will tell you that it's one length, and then another it tells you that it's 1 second off set from that length. It's kind of weird. The most disturbing video against Kelly Marie Tran and Rose Tico on YouTube is an hour-long unboxing video by Ethan Van Sciver, where he seems to unbox dozens of Rose Tico action figures. Yeah, I think. Did he say he was drunk? I don't think he was drunk. I think he was probably eating pie at like 3 a.m. or something. He went to Walmart, and because nobody else was buying them, there were tons of fucking Rose Tico action figures. So he just like bought them all. Well, that's one of the things you can do when you're reasonably wealthy. I mean, he's not like super rich or anything, but he's compared to people like me, he's loaded. Um, it's unboxed dozens of Rose Tico action figures for 1 hour with no dialogue and only a soft piano track playing in the background. At points in the video, that's just you're disrespecting his culture. What is it? The Dutch or whatever. You're disrespecting his fucking culture. It's Van Sciver, not Sciver. Stops unboxing to stab and slice transaction figures with knives and scissors. Sciver beheads the action figures several times. I missed out on this, man. I knew that he did it. I knew that he'd done these videos, but even when it's not, a toy that I particularly care about, it's like I don't like people destroying toys. I'm like, oh, no matter what it is, I'm always like, oh, don't do that. But so I knew that he'd done it, but I never bothered to watch it because of that. But I got to admit, you just see it described here, and they're acting like you're supposed to react with horror. It's like, no, it's funny. It is funny. I'm sorry. A live stream on March 17th, 2021. Oh, that's just happened, right? That was St. Patty's Day. Oh man, if I wasn't taking medicine that doesn't allow me to drink, I would have loved to have gotten drunk on St. Patty's Day. But oh well. A live stream on March 17, 2021 entitled Zack Snyder Disses the Fandom Menace. And I think I watched that. Includes comments from Van Sciver. God damn it. You fuckers. You disrespectful fuckers. You're disrespecting his people. That's just no good. that suggests the hate against Rose Tico is racially motivated. That seems unlikely. I don't remember that. In the live stream, Van Sciver discusses comments by Justice League director Zack Snyder. Yeah. By the way, Doomcock, if you're listening, it's Snyder, not Schneider. There's no ch in there, none. Given it's also Dark Side, not Dark Seed. Good heavens. I'm kind of wondering if Doomcock is trolling his own fans with that. His constant mispronunciations of names. Given during a charity live stream for suicide prevention that Justice League The Snyder Cut is not associated with Geeks and Gamers, who had a major hand in the charity fundraiser. Yeah, they helped to organize the thing, and they helped get people excited about the Snyder Cut, and they helped get people to donate money. And then fucking Zack Snyder comes into their fucking stream and says, "We talked about that for the logo's still there. It's not supposed to be there. We're not associated with Geeks and Gamers as far as I'm concerned." And then immediately transitions into, "I want to speak out against hate." Again, and by doing so, clearly implicates that Geeks and Gamers is a hate group. Which seems to tie directly into this fucking article, now doesn't it? Snyder speaks out against the hate crime, and yeah, isn't this the bullet? Yeah, this is the shooting. And this is bullshit too. It's not actually a hate crime. I mean, I guess it's a hate crime against sex workers. You're insinuating that it's racist because a white guy killed 6 Asian women, but he also killed 2 other women who were not Asian. He was killing women that worked at massage parlors because he's a fucking sex addict. You're trying to be like, racism. No, you see racism everywhere because you're the ones obsessed with it. That occurred in Georgia, March 2021, where blah, 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 blah. Yes. And yes, we should be against murdering people, regardless of who they are or why. Murder, not good. In response to Snyder's remarks, Van Sciver states in a now removed YouTube video, and to me, no, Zack Snyder will never stop me from killing Chinese people. Ever. I don't care how many movies he makes. Laughs are heard as Van Sciver speaks. You culturally insensitive prick. Van Sciver. Comicsgate supporter and YouTuber John Malin. Supporter? He's part of Comicsgate. He's a creator. Give John Malin his due. Hashtag Malin Militia. Who was also present on the live stream, echoes Van Sciver's comments. I'm having to edit your fucking article because you get so much shit wrong. Well, I mean, I've been commentating on the whole fucking thing because so much is wrong, but now it's simple things. Come on, do better. Cultural insensitivity. Asserting we haven't killed enough. Again, you used to could be able to tell jokes, and then it was removed. Like, YouTube insisted that the video be gone from their site because he said this, and it was all clearly a fucking joke. But nope, can't have that. We can't have that. Van Sciver continues, quote, "Give me a Tommy gun." And line him up against the wall, as the great Stan Lee once said. Malin responds, hashtag nuke China, right? That's right, confirms Van Sciver. And yes, it was all clearly a goddamn joke. What is with the left and not being able to have a fucking sense of humor about anything anymore? You used to have one, but not now. The YouTubers deflect their obvious hand in enabling trans harassment? No, they didn't. They didn't enable her harassment. Again, like I said, you can't blame, you know, people for the actions of others. That's, you know, you're removing agency from people who actually do bad things when you do that, by declaring that they love Rose Tico. I don't think that they actually love Rose Tico. However, they they probably do wish nothing but well to Kelly Marie Tran. You know, they probably hate the character because the character was objectively shit. But the actress is not to blame for that, and they know that. And unlike some of the other actresses, as far as I know, Kelly Marie Tran has not actually, you know, said or done anything to earn the fans' enmity. They call themselves Ticopaths. There is even merch. Really? I need to get some of that. And credit Van Sciver with rehabilitating her character before continuing to laugh at death wishes against her character. Again, wishing death on a fictional character, that's not really a bad thing. You know, it's not a problem. Get over it. In June 2018, Tran deleted her Instagram. She has not announced any plans to return to social media. That's her choice. You know, it's. I mean, you can ignore harassment, or you can, you know, act like, oh my God, you know, I just can't handle it. Well, it's up to you. Develop a thick skin, or yeah, don't return to social media. If you can't handle it, if you can't handle the heat, stay out of the kitchen. At this point, Ethan would probably make some joke about women being in the kitchen. But I'm not so clever, so I will not attempt such a anyway. Oh God, oh my God, are we almost done with this fucking shit yet? I don't know. I don't know. Should I take another break before trying to? I don't know if I should press on with one. You know, or I don't know. Um, Mission completed. I wish it was. The Rise of Skywalker retcons The Last Jedi. Well, to a certain extent, you know. But I think even JJ recognized that, you know, the Last Jedi was a fuck up. Unfortunately, he was not able to recover. He just made another fuck up. In December 2019, after 4 years of highly coordinated racist and sexist hate against the trilogy, no, not really. It's not as highly coordinated as you're making it out to be. It's not as racist or sexist as you make it out to be. And it's not as hateful, or at least it's not the type of hate that you make it out to be. The Rise of Skywalker was released in theaters and noticeably retconned. Not normally a fan of retcon, but as far as I'm concerned, the whole Disney thing is just a bunch of bullshit. I consider Star Wars essentially to be dead as of Disney's purchase of it, and you know, and essentially like everything Disney specifically has done, their specific projects, it's not real Star Wars. It's Disney Star Wars. You know, it to me it essentially exists in an alternate reality. EU forever, baby. Retconned The Last Jedi. Before giving examples, it is important to note that the final installment of the Skywalker saga, Palpatine saga, was highly likely was highly likely not any kind of malicious attack against progressive politics. Well, I mean, was there any reason to believe that it was? What are you talking about? Nor was it some plot to appease white supremacy. Of course not, because there aren't any. And anti-feminists. Again, you know, there's nothing wrong with being anti-feminist, but you know, like you're blowing all that shit out of all proportion. Oh, God. Additionally, the vast majority of movie-going audiences will not have the faintest idea of the hate that are lies, lies, more lies within the Star Wars fandom since the release of The Last Jedi. Enjoying the film does not in any way mean that one agrees with white supremacists. No shit. Not alt-right reactionaries and misogynists. You're full of shit. However, that doesn't change the fact that plot points that ended up in the film can be tied back to not alt-right conversations on YouTube. No, they cannot be. You're fucking lying about all of this crap. Some moments in the film that clearly included... Oh, God, here we go with the fan theories thing again. That included fan theories were inconsequential and were not taken purely from not alt-right spaces, such as the use of Holdo maneuver, a phrase used on Reddit and YouTube since 2017, or the moment when Luke raises the X-Wing from the water in Octu. Is that how it's spelled? Octu? Whatever. Anybody who was deep within Star Wars fandom between 2016 and 2017 can tell you how often they heard that fan favorite expectation. It was said a lot. It's apparently a bad thing to give the fans things that they would like to see. Like, I mean, fan service. I mean, it's often a misnomer because often they say that, oh, well, this is fan service, and it's actually something the fans don't fucking want. But these people apparently seriously believe that giving some of the fans some of what they want is like, it's a bad thing. It's a bad thing. You shouldn't give people what they want. It's like, fuck you. Fuck you. I mean, of course, I mean, they absolutely don't want us to have what we really want, which is a good goddamn story. Then there are the moments that are troubling, but not egregious, such as Snoke having a shoehorned backstory after fan backlash that Snoke died. It wasn't fan backlash. It was a recognition that this is stupid. You have killed the main villain. What the hell are you actually going to have for your big bad? And I don't know for certain, obviously, but I can almost guarantee you that, again, if you were to be able to get inside the mind of J.J. Abrams and get an honest answer, you'd probably find out that he did indeed plan for Snoke to be the big bad in the third film. But he couldn't do that because Rian fucking Johnson killed Snoke in the second film. And he was like, fuck, what am I going to do? So, again, like I said, he had to, once again, steal from the expanded universe, this time doing a shitty adaptation of Dark Empire. Which, for anyone who doesn't know, Dark Empire was a comic series from Dark Horse back in the 90s, in which 6 years after the Battle of Endor, the clone of Emperor Palpatine rose to power and took command of the Empire again, or took command of the former Imperial warlords, I guess, and in typical, I guess, sort of comic fashion or whatever, it was a little overblown. It's like you'd had more realistic things in the novels, like the Empire had been shrunken down to a relatively a relative shadow of what it had been, and then Grand Admiral Thrawn emerged and took command of the Imperial fleet, and he didn't have any. He didn't have any super star destroyers. He didn't have any Death Stars. He didn't have any, fancy super weapons of any kind. But he was a tactical and strategic genius, and so he commenced a very effective campaign against the New Republic. Um, anyway, you had that, and then in the comics, you had the Clone Emperor suddenly is vastly more powerful than he was in Return of the Jedi. He can summon force storms that can consume entire fleets of ships. He has a fleet larger than ever. He has, you know, bigger flagship armed with a super laser. Uh, he had the galaxy gun, which can fire missiles that can vaporize entire planets anywhere in the galaxy. And just all kinds of shit, and like weird droids and exotic beasts and tons of dark side adepts, and apparently can turn people into dark side adepts. Again, everything was kind of really overblown, and like I said, I attribute that to sort of the typical comic book mentality of making everything a little outlandish and over the top. But nevertheless, it's vastly cooler than anything that Disney has or ever will, frankly, give us. Uh, all right, and The Last Jedi, before anybody could deep dive into his life story, remember the Dave Rubin tweet. Vaguely. In another moment ripped from YouTube videos, Luke Skywalker catches his lightsaber after Rey throws it away from her and scolds her that a Jedi's weapon deserves more respect. Well, it does. And that was bad. It was bad writing and utter bullshit from Rian Johnson that he had Luke tossing away his lightsaber. It was an utter assassination of his character. This direct response to online aggravation with Luke's opening scene in The Last Jedi when he tosses the lightsaber. Yes, that, like I said, that's bad writing. Rian Johnson should never have been allowed to be in charge of that. And I'm assuming that because he's a weak gamma male, Kathleen Kennedy found him to be a useful ally. The Critical Drinker, who is in network with other Fandom Menace, not alt-right YouTubers, has an especially popular video on this complaint. Yeah, I'm sure I've seen it. It's great. Subscribe to The Critical Drinker. He's awesome. It is the decisions, however, that respond to anti-feminist and racist hate, bullshit, dutifully spread by Fandom, not alt-right networks, that make The Rise of Skywalker a distressing film to view. If you're not careful, you're going to make me like it. What happens to Rey's story is particularly unsettling. I kind of agree, but probably not the way that you do. She ends The Last Jedi as a nobody. Yeah, which is just dumb, really. Who has been given the power to not just simply rebuild the Jedi Order, but to take the teachings of the Jedi in a new, enlightened direction. The point is, Luke should already have done that. However, in The Rise of Skywalker, Rey no longer has power of her own. She is told that she has the power of her grandfather, Emperor Palpatine. One of the most recognizable and powerful villains in Star Wars canon. Yes, but that too is essentially the fault of Rian Johnson because he fucked up whatever JJ was probably originally planning. In The Last Jedi, Rey confidently wields the Skywalker saber. There is a scene in the film dedicated to her understanding of how to use the saber's power while a curious Luke Skywalker watches on. The apprentice teaches the master. Yeah, fuck you. She later uses the saber to help defeat Snoke's guards with the help of Kylo Ren. Her comfort with the saber acknowledges one of the most moving moments in The Force Awakens when the saber flies into Rey's hand as the Force theme swells around her. All of this suggests that Rey is capable and worthy of one of the most iconic objects in all of Star Wars. Yes, and of course she was worthy of it from the beginning. She didn't have to earn anything. However, in The Rise of Skywalker, Rey tells General Leia that she will earn Luke Skywalker's saber, implying that she was undeserving of the saber the whole time. She was. Her character didn't go through any of the proper steps of development. You just tried to be like, oh, she's the bestest ever. Again, Mary Sue. And to his credit, JJ tried, kinda, sorta, to fix that. But it was too little too late. Furthermore, all work that The Last Jedi had done to bring the Jedi Order into a new era was discarded. Good. Instead, the Jedi are treated like deities that Rey suddenly follows with no questions asked, even after spending The Last Jedi attempting to beat Luke Skywalker with a staff. You're criticizing one bad movie by saying that it was trying to fix some of the worst offenses of the previous bad movie. In the end, Rey's story concludes where it began, alone in a desert. Yeah, but at least it's a better desert. The final shot of the film is more for the audience's enjoyment. Well, trust me, we didn't enjoy it that fucking much. Than for the character's story as she stares into the binary sunset from A New Hope. Yeah, it was meant to be a full circle moment. Instead, it was just, it felt like a Disney full circle jerk moment. Rey is ultimately reduced to a vessel for the past instead of a force for the future. Well, you shouldn't have been trying to kill the past. Nothing good comes from forgetting the past and not being willing to honor it. All of these decisions attempt to answer backlash against Rey's character that can be found in not alt-right and not radical right-wing videos. You're lying about that. Okay. In these videos, not alt-right YouTubers claim that Rey cannot be as strong as she is in the Force without intense training or a powerful Force connection to a male. No. Nobody said it had to be a male legacy Star Wars character. It doesn't have to be male, but it does have to be somebody. It's just that the primary potential characters for her to be connected to were male. But if you want to say that she was, I don't know, oh God, I can't remember her name. There was some like really, there was some story. I wasn't really into them as much as I was into this. I preferred the stuff that was set uh, in the years following Return of the Jedi, that continued the story of the main characters and some of the supporting characters and whatnot from the films. Um, but there was some comics or something that went back like thousands of years in the past and talked about really strong Jedi from back then. And if you'd taken, like, at least one of them was a woman, I can't remember her fucking name offhand, but anyway, if you'd taken her and been like, oh, Rey is, the great however many greats, granddaughter of, of so and so, then it's like that would have worked too. You just, but like I said, the Last Jedi tried to do this stupid bullshit retconny thing of everybody has the Force now. That's stupid. It's stupid, stupid, stupid. And absolutely in contradiction of everything else in Star Wars. So, no, that was a dumb idea. Anybody who thought it was clever or something, I question your taste. Um, Rey's story was not the only one to be discarded in order for the narrative to focus on the nostalgia of the original trilogy. Well, that's the only thing that even stood a chance of saving this thing, although it ultimately couldn't. John Boyega's character Finn is also noticeably squandered in the film, and is reduced to sight. Yeah, and look, that's one of the things that I would actually take issue with for sure. Frankly, having Rey as this fucking Mary Sue character and whatnot throughout most of the sequel trilogy was a garbage decision. It was stupid. It reeks of being a Kathleen Kennedy inspired thing. And honestly, if instead you'd focused on John Boyega's character, on Finn as being the new hero, let him become the Jedi, let Luke train him to be the new hero, that would have worked so much better. I guarantee, and it's not a sexism thing. It's just, and it would have worked with Rey too if, again, you hadn't just made her the bestest ever to start with. If you'd had her go through, through character growth like Luke did in the original trilogy. Luke went on the hero's journey. Rey didn't. Arguably Finn came closer. He didn't really do it either, but he came closer to going through that journey. Honestly, it would have worked with anybody. It doesn't matter. I mean, for fuck's sake, you'd have had Rose Tico introduced in the first fucking film and had her be the main protagonist who goes through the hero's journey. It's the journey that matters, goddammit. It's the proper character development that matters. And you fuckers just won't accept that. You won't accept that the whole thing was mishandled. You just want to insist that your garbage film was great. And the only reason anybody doesn't like it is because they're such hateful istophobes. Fuck you. Fuck you, you lying, cocksucking pieces of shit. You dumbass motherfuckers. Need a Sam Jackson clip to play. All right. Helping Rey on series of fetch quests, yes. I mean, it's not as though The Rise of Skywalker is a great movie. It's a shitty one, too. Many people would say that it's worse than The Last Jedi, but I mean, I will at least give J.J. Abrams the credit of making an attempt. It was a failed attempt, but at least it was an attempt to fix things that he knew were wrong. It's amazing that he even made an attempt. Oh, pardon me. The Rise of Skywalker's worst act, however, is reducing the screen time for Kelly Marie Tran's character Rose Tico down to about 1 minute. Oh, it certainly wasn't necessary to do that. You just had to make the character do something worthwhile. While screen time does get cut often for all characters in films, it's difficult to ignore the character's absence after years of racist harassment against Tran. I mean, you didn't really demonstrate that. You did not demonstrate racist harassment. Harassment, yes. Racist, no. Death wishes to her character. Again, the character was shit. It is not her fault that she had to play it that way. She was told how to play it. She only followed direction. She was doing as she was told, as she was hired to do. It's not her fault that the character was crap. So no one should be harassing the actress. But, hating the character, that's fine because the character sucked. Given that many moments in the film appear to be direct responses to internet conversations and the reason behind trans exclusion becomes increasingly and dreadfully apparent. Well, again, like I said, I didn't really agree with the idea of cutting her out of the film. Just have her character there, but have her character better. Write it better. Write her fucking character better. It's not that difficult, is it? I could come up with better stories in my sleep than a lot of these SJWs do. As I stated, all of these decisions were likely done without thinking about any of the potential consequences of the people that could be hurt or of the racist and sexist agenda. Nah, fuck you. Uh, these decisions inadvertently encouraged. No, no, no. You're full of shit. Um, However, whether we choose to recognize the truth, you wouldn't recognize the truth if it bit you in the fucking ass, of the effective political attack against the Star Wars sequel trilogy or not. No, no. It's not political, people. It's just bad writing. The final film in the Skywalker saga is a perfect example of how difficult it is to identify the differences between genuine fan concerns. No, these were genuine fan fucking concerns. It's bad goddamn writing. The whole thing was mismanaged. You know, these are genuine fan concerns and full-blown culture wars. Some people may have been using it as an opportunity to fight a culture war. Doesn't matter. They're still genuine fan concerns. Those are fucking real, people. It also demonstrates how vital it is for businesses and creatives to understand those differences. Yeah, it is. Let's hope that they actually understand them instead of listening to you and your bullshit about them. As it stands, the Star Wars sequel trilogy is an unfortunate testimony to the power of organized hate. No, it's not. And the violent and vitriolic lengths that people will go to in order to stop cultural progress. What progress? What do you think would have been achieved if nobody said anything at all and just let Disney fuck this thing all to hell however they wanted? Do you really think it achieved any cultural progress? No, it didn't. It didn't. It wouldn't have. What the fuck are you on about? In order to stop cultural progress, there's none happening here. It's just mismanaged science fiction films. That's all it is. You're not accomplishing some great cultural thing. Of course, the not alt-right on YouTube were not happy with the film. Well, of course not. It sucked. They will not be satisfied until the sequel trilogy is never spoken of again. Well, that'd be a great start. You know, it certainly is. Somebody like I said, if I had billions and billions and billions of dollars, and I could go to Disney and offer to buy Star Wars from them, I would fucking purchase it. Purchase Lucasfilm and all the IPs, and I would immediately decanonize everything Disney's done. All of the books, all the movies, every fucking thing they did. I would immediately say, this is not canon. And I would recanonize the expanded universe. And you know what? If I did that, or if anybody, I mean, let's say Elon Musk. Let's say Elon Musk were to do that. You know, he actually has billions of dollars. He could afford to buy Star Wars. Let's say he did that. The fans would fucking rejoice like you wouldn't believe. We would all be so motherfucking happy. Now, whether we stayed happy would depend on whether or not he actually would produce good shit going forward. But still, I mean, that would be a great fucking day. It's never going to happen, but it would. It would be a great day. Blah 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 blah. Only time will tell how the trilogy will move forward or be remembered. It'll be remembered as garbage. Eventually, this woke crap will go away, and people will recognize that all of the god-awful rat abortions that came from this woke ideology are best forgotten. In the meantime, there was one person who was pleased with this outcome. Ben Shapiro just saw Rise of Skywalker. Everyone is wrong. The movie is mostly nostalgia-packed joy. If you love the original Star Wars, you should be grateful to J.J. Abrams for attempting to right his own wrongs in Force Awakens and the travesty that is Last Jedi. Like I said, I'll give J.J. some credit for that, but, that I should kiss his ass the way that Ben Shapiro seems to want us to. No, not happening. Not happening, Benji. Mild spoilers coming. Finn and Poe remain boring and irrelevant. That's unfortunate, but anyway. But Kylo Ren is given an actual arc. He sort of, a little bit. I mean, they certainly treated his character better. I think it was really not done any favors in the first two films, but yeah, it's kind of sort of okay. I mean, better, but still not good. Ray's reveal is pretty great and answers the key Mary Sue question about her. Sort of. Again, that's not, it's not enough, but I mean, it was probably the best he could manage under the circumstances. I mean, when things are fucked as bad as they were, there's only so much you can do to try to fix it. The nasty endings for Han and Luke are bought back. I don't know that I would believe that entirely, especially not Han, but whatever. It is a little bit. Leia is given some great backstory and a solid ending. Yeah, sort of. Basically, if you were pissed at what they did in Force Awakens and Last Jedi to all your favorite childhood characters, they tried to undo it in Rise of Skywalker, and that is great. I will agree, they tried. They tried. They failed. But at least they made the effort. At least JJ tried. I'm very surprised that he was willing to even try. That doesn't mean the new trilogy was necessary. No, it absolutely doesn't. It wasn't. But it exists. We don't have to acknowledge its existence. And this was a good way to end it as was. This was as good a way to end it as possible, given the brutal screw-ups of the first two films. He has a point. So here's what I'm saying. I hated Force Awakens. Yeah, it sucked. I hated Last Jedi. Yeah, it sucked. I enjoyed Rise of Skywalker. I wouldn't go so far as to say I hated Rise of Skywalker, but I wouldn't go so far as to say I enjoyed it either. You know, it's like an AU fanfic. You know, I'm just kind of meh. Because it was an apology for all of that. Apology accepted, Captain Nita. Yeah, okay. I give him points for style on that one. Um, oh my God, more. There's more. There's more of this fucking thing. This fucking piece of shit article never fucking ends. Oh my God! All right, it's break time. I don't know if I'll try to finish this this morning, or if I'll just I don't know, leave it till tomorrow, or later today. What you know what I mean? Oh, I'm so tired.